Hey, good afternoon, Capricorns. Welcome or welcome back to my channel, This Old Goat Tarot. My name is Anne, and today's reading is going to be special. It's for the summer solstice. Now, while today is Friday the 13th at approximately 4:34 p.m., the actual solstice is occurring next Friday, June 20th at 10:41 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Adjust that based upon where you live. But what I wanted to do is to come on here today to really honor the blessings of where we've been in the spring. And the solstice is also an opportunity to honor ourselves and as well as honor that which the sun, the power, everything of the sun has given us in order for us to have achieved all of our achievements in the spring. So that power, that energy that is pulsating to us each and every single day, so much of it, you can feel it. The energy is palpable right now. It can be heavy energy, it can be light energy, but regardless, it's energy. And every little seed that we plant, whether physically or metaphorically, it wouldn't happen without the sun. And if you do honor pagan holidays, it's Litha as well. Oftentimes it is celebrated around like a big bonfire. It's a time of blessings with family, with friends. It can also be a sign of the sort of the first wave of harvest. And so today on my table, I did harvest some herbs. I have basil, thyme, and oregano here. True as day, these herbs came up. I planted a few, and a few of them came up from last year. And in the scent here, I always like to honor all of the elements on my table. So of course we have fire, I've got water. I added some herbs today, and I also have some crystals as well, because Capricorns, we are an earth sign. And anytime we have an opportunity to get in touch with nature, it recharges our batteries. If you haven't already, take some time over the course of the weekend. Get outside, put 2 feet on the ground, ensure that all of that energy, especially given what's going on right now in your life, it could be very chaotic. If you happen to have young children, for example, school is wrapping up or it already has, it's a shift in the household. You may be feeling a little depleted as well, because when there is so much energy coming at us from the earth, and there's so much daylight, we are awake quite a bit physically. And the opportunity to recharge and to connect to the divine, from just to meditate, I think is a really good opportunity for us to use this solstice. I would love to hear about what you're doing. Are you building an altar? Are you doing something with friends or family? I'm going to start journaling myself of how, where I've been, and to really celebrate the aspects of myself and to integrate all those different dimensions that I didn't even know existed up until recently. So that awareness, that those aspects of ourselves that are coming online are frankly the expanding consciousness that we all are collectively, and not just Capricorns, but collective, the entire collective. And so if we don't stop and do the work of integration, the sun can provide so much power and energy, but it can also burn us as well. And what you don't want to do is get to that point of burnout. So use the weekend, use the solstice energy, honor it, bake into your life some sort of ritual. Just the changing of the seasons are so interesting. It's frankly something that can, as a Capricorn, we are a cardinal sign, and I know Cancer is also beginning as well. I'm going to do a separate reading for Cancer season, but they are also a cardinal sign as well, which marks the beginning of a season. So we love new beginnings, but at the same time, stopping and honoring where we've been is so important. Other things when it comes to the solstice that should be considered, think about the colors, like that warm glow from the sun, like a warm white, yellows, beautiful oranges. Think about a fire, a big, huge bonfire. Just, scry into it if you need to, whatever you need to just really use the special aspects of the season. Like I said, I'm using herbs right now. Maybe it's a fire, maybe it's a firefly, because you are up late at night, because there is so much daylight, and the sun doesn't go down until much later. Now, granted, parents out there, I feel for you. Trust me, I got a toddler. Does not understand why bedtime happens when it's so bright outside. However, whatever it is that you want to connect with, do so. Whatever spirit is calling you to lean into it, don't ignore those little nudges. It's an opportunity to literally refill your battery. Think about your phone, to charge it every once in a while. This is a huge opportunity for us to recharge ourselves before we begin an entirely new season. So do the self-care, do the integration work. And hopefully today will be the beginning of that, or at least allow you to live more with intention in the go forward. I'm going to go ahead and kick us off in our reading today. This is a general reading for the Capricorn community, all placements, sun, moon, and rising, using an oracle card from the Green Witch's Oracle deck. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Thank you for being here. Oh, and by the way, if anything I'm saying resonates or adds value to you in any way, I would be honored with any like or subscribe. For the Capricorn community, I typically do 1 to 2 readings a week, and then I also do a few collective readings for major transits. But we'll go ahead and get started. Thank you so much for being here. All right. Okay, you can't make this up. I actually pulled the sun. So Capricorn, and by the way, I am a Capricorn sun myself. We pulled the sun. How appropriate, how fitting for a summer solstice reading. I'm going to go ahead and pull the screen down. Take some time to reflect on the artistry of the card itself. There's any sort of signs, symbols, synchronicity is all to be taken away from this reading. All right, the sun, healing energy, happiness, comfort, and joy. The sun is the main source of life on our planet. It holds great power in the Green Witch practice. It gives us light, which feeds plant life and is essential to the process of photosynthesis. From these plants comes oxygen, nourishing us as we breathe. Sunlight also brings comfort to our bodies, easing chills and dampness, helping us stay warm. The sun card is associated with robust health and healing illnesses. The light chases away the darkness and encourages joy and happiness. Let light in to illuminate dark corners in your life. Allow optimism into your heart to encourage you. There are bright times ahead. And again, this card asks from a reflection. You may want to use this as a journal prompt. What needs healing in your life? What needs comfort and attention? All right, so I mean, you saw me shuffling these cards. And by the way, whenever I do a reading, I typically shuffle the cards based upon the numerological day whatever the day breaks down to from a numerological perspective. Today is Friday the 13th. It breaks down to a 1. I did, with intention, clear the energy, and I shuffled all of my decks at least once. But, you know, I also like to infuse my energy, connect to the cards themselves by shuffling them by hand, which is what I was doing in the opening. I find that this is a really powerful message. This is almost like Spirit endorsing this reading, that there is something here to be taken away around needing that time of reflection, that time for self-care, for the pause, especially given the fact that you know, Gemini season is quick moving energy. So much is happening. The spring in general is just a very intense season. And the sun, it all starts and ends with the sun. And these blessings that have been brought here to earth, into our body, into our awareness, into our consciousness, is something that is so powerful, and there's so much beauty. That's the word that I keep getting from Spirit right now, is beauty. So Capricorn, I think that this is really an interesting fact that this came through as the overall message for the card today, honoring Lilith, honoring the summer solstice. All right, so let's get into the tarot. And I'm going to put this to the side for just a second here. What I like to do, if you're new to my channel, is I do current energy, recent energy, current energy, and potential or future outcomes. So we'll go ahead and get started. I do like to cut the deck with you. Spirit, only the highest and best for the Capricorn community. What messages need to come through? What can we do? What messages should we be reflecting on as we honor the season, honor the blessings, come to the table here today for the summer solstice? All right, you got 7 of Cups in the upright position. This is recent past. We have Temperance in reverse, which is Major Arcana number 14 in current energy. And the Ten of Swords, which is the potential outcomes or messages from Spirit. Bottom of the deck today, we have the King of Pentacles. Now, if you have been following me, the King of Pentacles energy has come through in almost every Capricorn reading that I have done. This is interesting. It is an upright position. You know, there's some divine masculine energy associated with this card right now. This is about building a legacy. You'll see, you know, he's got books in the background. It's clearly an older gentleman. He's sitting there very confidently, sort of reflecting upon his life. He's got in his whatever it is that he's amassed from it could be, you know, his home, his family. It could be his investments, and he's got his dog with him, his companion. You know, he's not alone. He's very surrounded and grounded, is what I'm hearing. Surrounded and grounded, surrounded by all of the wake of everything he has done. And so what I'm gathering from this is, I don't think this can be taken right now from an investment perspective. I think in recent readings, it was really coming through pretty hard around like I was hearing 401ks, I was hearing investment properties, and sort of longer term legacy building wealth. What I'm gathering today, this is more of him reflecting on the process that was involved in obtaining that wealth, okay, and all of the journeys, the trials, the tribulations that he has gone through. It's kind of like he is almost looking at this pentacle here as a crystal ball and doing the work to integrate that into the self. Okay, there's years of experience on this beard. I'm sure, Capricorn, in your own very way. What have you gained as a part of yourself in the last few months here in this season that you can, pull into yourself, and it may have been a hard season for you. I'm not here to be a Pollyanna. This is not always rainbows and butterflies for everyone. I hear you. It could have been a challenging season. But looking back and almost being a witness to you and to what you've gone through is incredibly important. And I think that energy overarching is here at the table today with this sun energy. Okay, so much resonance, around this. Even the colors on my table today very much lean towards gold and yellows. Okay, so let's talk about this a little bit. In recent past, you had the Seven of Cups. Now, Seven of Cups energy is interesting. First of all, this is a water sign, and oftentimes it's about Neptune-ish. It's a Neptunian card. Illusion, delusion, confusion. And that's what Neptune can bring sometimes in our lives. And, having that influence on anything that may have been occurring in your life, it could have really been something that was a challenge. Was there something that you were reflecting on or considering to do, or getting excited about? I don't know what that looks like for you. But Neptune did enter Aries in March, okay? And it's going to be there throughout the summer, so I'm not surprised if this was in recent energy, especially given that we're thinking about what you've gone through in the spring, in recent energy throughout the spring, is that you may have had various opportunities pop up, things that you've considered, but you just weren't sure. I do want to get a little bit more clarity on that, though. What message do we have around why the Seven of Cups is here in recent energy in the upright position? Why is the Seven of Cups so prominent in today's reading? I'll take one or two messages. And by the way, I typically shuffle the cards 3 times. I'll see what comes through. I'll take one or two more messages. Not much to say on this, what I'm gathering, although I do have the King of Swords in reverse. That was bottom of the deck. So, Capricorn, we had also the wand, the Ace of Wands that did pop out. And by the way, I do honor reversals, but in the perspective of when they fall out for me, so this actually came out in the upright position for me, so I want to make sure I put that there. The Ace of Wands is passion. It's fire energy. It is a gift from the divine. You see this like cloud coming in, just granting you inspiration, motivation, something that's exciting. And I'm not surprised that you got this with the Seven of Cups, with also this King of Swords in reverse. Okay, it's almost as if these two cards, this Ace of Wands and this King of Swords in reverse, are the very oppositional energies, which has led to this confusion, delusion, inability to sort of move forward. Okay, very challenging. I'm not sure. Again, take this as it resonates. But this King of Swords in reverse, in the upright position, swords energy is about is about our thoughts, the mind, the ability to make quick, decisive action. It is energy. It is air energy. The ability to when needed, cut things out of our life that no longer serves our purpose. And the King of Swords is confident. He wields that sword. And by the way, whenever I think of swords, also, given the fact that it's all about the mind, it's about thought forms, which can either be, frankly, very beneficial or also self-limiting beliefs as well. It's all based upon language and words. And so if you notice, the word sword literally has words in it. I always think that's by design almost. And in the fact that he's sitting on this throne so confident, he does what's necessary. He gets the job done when it's time to move on. This is in reverse. Okay, so something may have come through, a spark of inspiration, something that was motivating. It could even be a new passionate romantic relationship as well. That's another way to read this card, because sexual energy is also associated with fire, with the wand energy. So whatever that was, the King of Swords here wasn't ready for it. He wasn't ready to use that sword. He wasn't ready to take the thoughts and feelings and bring them into spoken word, to take inspired action. He wasn't ready, and that's where I feel that this Seven of Cups came into play. So Capricorn, I am curious if there's something that you've been considering, new opportunities, new relationships, and you in terms of taking the next actual step along your journey, you were sort of almost challenged by a lot of considerations that got in the way. And sometimes the ego comes in and starts presenting all of these worst case scenarios, pros and cons, all of that thought patterns. Can actually we can get our own way sometimes, and not to say that our own discernment is critically important, especially at this time where there's so many competing frequencies and vibrations that are all around us. But if we allow the ego to get in the way, we can kind of get lost in this confused state. But let's move on. Why is Temperance here in reverse? So you'll notice here that in the upright position, he's got this almost an ethereal picture of a being that has like the moon, the sun, and the moon in a perfect balance. And in the tarot, the traditional Rider-Waite, you have this this angelic being that is pouring something from one cup to the other in complete balance, harmony, a coming together, an opportunity where something that there may have been lacking, some sort of reciprocity. Temperance comes in to resolve that, and it's in reverse. So I'm curious if whatever this Seven of Cups energy has been, because maybe you weren't ready for something, or they weren't ready, that led you down this path of really almost getting lost a little bit in the mind. The ego kind of came front and center as opposed to the higher mind. I think that led to an imbalance, and I think this is you. I think this is where you are right now. And what better time than to use the solstice to sit and to do this integration work, to really reflect on the power, your own power, what you bring to the table every single day, your own sovereignty. Capricorn, you are a multidimensional being. Don't ever forget that. Don't ever forget the opportunity to reclaim your own power. Let's get a few messages here. Why is Temperance here in the reversal? I'll get one or two messages. Why is Temperance here in the reversal in the current energy today on my table? Anything else? Okay. All right. Bottom of the deck, we had Four of Cups in reverse. Okay. In the upright, it's almost like you have all these options. The divine is coming in, and we're not having it. We're not feeling it. The vibe is off. Okay. it's in reversal. So I feel as if we inherently know that we want to take some sort of action, but we're sort of almost stuck in this loop of the Seven of Cups energy. I think there's some residual frequency here that we're still caught up, where we're not quite ready. I'm getting this because the Chariot is here sideways. So the Chariot is major arcana. It's about moving forward, taking decisive action. There's a little bit of Leo energy. You see the sunflower at the top. The Chariot, though, at least what I'm gathering, it could not necessarily Leo energy, but it could happen in Leo season, where the next opportunity, where whatever you are thinking about, whatever you're manifesting, whatever you're undecided about, may actually come to fruition. And we also have here the Page of Cups sideways. So the Page of Cups is looking at the world, with the eyes and the innocence and naivety of a child, of the inner child. And it's sideways. It's almost as if we've repressed that child within. So Capricorn, what is it that fills up your cup? What is it that we may have overlooked? And because we kind of got lost in all of the things that could go wrong, the catastrophizing, being a little too overly cautious, that has delayed our ability to move forward, where we're not ready to get on the Chariot yet, where this but the fact that the Four of Cups here is in reverse, to me, that is encouraging, because what it tells me is that we're over the weight. And even though we are, something's out of balance, we know that there's out of balance. So you can't move forward in life, and it's kind of like you can't move forward unless you actually identify that something's wrong and acknowledge and hold space for that aspect of yourself where something is truly out of balance. And I think the fact that this is in reverse, it means we're waking up to that fact. We're acknowledging that, hey, I've been sitting here in this Seven of Cups energy for too long. I'm not, and for whatever reason that we were stuck there. Again, I was gathering the fact that this sword energy in reverse, basically maybe we weren't ready to take the inspired action. But the universe was saying it was there for the taking, but we just weren't ready for whatever reason. Because we have, been stuck in the confusion delusion state, this Page of Cups, the child, almost, he kind of got jaded a little bit. Let's put it that way. A little jaded, like, ugh, I guess I don't matter. But Spirit is saying now is the time, now that you've sort of identified the root cause, that and held space for yourself, that yes, I was caught up. I allowed myself to, get a little bit too much in my head around a certain situation. Whatever that is for you, it puts you in that out of balance situation. And the fact that you know this now, you know that there's an imbalance. The only way out of something is to come to an awareness that something is off, if that makes sense. All right, so let's keep going. We had the Ten of Swords here in the potential outcome. Now, the Ten of Swords is really good energy. It's what it is, and you see that there's this yellow, beautiful sunset coming in the background. This is the solstice. It is an ending, right? Well, it's the beginning of summer, but it's also the end of spring. And so whatever, and in this particular deck also, swords are represented by these birds. Okay, so if you've had heavy thoughts, if you have been stuck in a mode of maybe fear of commitment, perhaps, whatever that is, Spirit is saying that not only have you done the work right now to acknowledge that something's out of balance, but we're also acknowledging we're not willing to stay in this state forever. And by doing that work, in the future, something's going to come to an end so you can move forward. All right, so let's get a little bit more clarity here. Why is the Ten of Swords in the upright position, in the position of something we may already know, or the position of a message from Spirit, potential outcomes given where we're headed, if you will? Anything else? We'll do one more time here. All right. Bottom of the deck, we actually have the Six of Cups. This is nostalgia. This is beautiful energy. I think that Spirit is saying use the solstice to be nostalgic. Indulge in that nostalgia. Allow yourself to reflect on all of the beautiful seasons of what the summer meant for you along the way of your life. So everything from the first time your parents may have taken you to the pool or the sprinkler, or that first feeling that school's out for the summer. That energy is so beautiful. It's so fun. I'm almost smelling a barbecue where you have the charcoal and that fire burning, and I'm hearing, you know, the sizzling of hot dogs, and it's hot out, but it's like that cool breeze that feels gentle on the skin. It's a welcoming breeze. Soak in all of that nostalgia of summer, because that is powerful. It is a powerful energy to take in. I think that that's really important. And then we also got here the Page of Swords sideways. So the Page of Swords, again, this is another page energy. It's all about the inner child and you know, what you used to do for fun. What did you do for fun in the summertime? I think what basically Spirit is saying is that by honoring the summer and leaning into whatever fills your cup. Okay, so the Page of Swords in the summertime, and if you were a kid, what was it that you were doing for fun, like physical activities? I'm gaining, and I know that's interesting for swords, but I'm picturing like playing basketball or riding your bike or walking barefoot outside after it rained. Okay. All of that kind of stuff that is adventurous, and you don't really think about it too much. You just do it, and that's interesting for the sword energy, because the sword is all about the mind, right? But I think and this is actually coming through right now for me. Whatever we were getting in our way about, where the ego sort of took over in recent past, okay, that led to this confusion, delusion. What Spirit is saying is that if you let the inner child out, you know, allow them to play, get into this nostalgia, allow him to come out to play, what actually happens is that the mind is kept at bay, and that's why it's sideways. Okay, the mind, the ego has a purpose. The ego, it's kind of like turning on turning on a show for your kid because you need 5 minutes of just, a relaxation, call it screen time, whatever it is, a distraction, okay? The ego needs a distraction. And I think what it comes down to is that when you really immerse yourselves in these memories of being a kid and everything what the summer means, and every aspect of it, the smell, the taste, the intense visuals of memories that were so wonderful for you as a child, what that does is it allows the ego to be heard, to be seen, to feel connected, comforted, and safe. And when you do that, then all of a sudden the higher mind and what needs to get done can come through, and there's going to be an end to this confusion, delusion. Whatever was imbalanced will all of a sudden become right side up, and this is the end, and you're going to be able to walk to the sun. You're going to walk to your happy ending. That's really what it comes down to, is when you're doing this work, it's really a paradox. I'm hearing you have this old man here sitting and looking at this pentacle, this journey that he's been on to acquire something in his life that occurred in recent past, the last few months. That it's a journey. What did you learn? Being a witness to the self, and how he's doing that is really tapping into the inner child, even though he's this older gentleman. And by doing that and just honoring all of the dimensions of what the summer and the sun has to offer, that allows almost like a cleansing, a clearing of energy, that when we were sort of, again, the ego was taking over, it allows the ego to move to the side and allows the higher mind and everything from the divine. All of a sudden, I think that the spark of energy, the downloads are going to come through for you, Capricorn. Okay, beautiful memories. I just had that because I'm getting all of these memories right now. I don't know if I'm getting it from you, from myself. I'm seeing a bike right now. I'm seeing this red bike, and there's like bricks in the background, and I'm just seeing it from as an observer. Somebody's zooming by, and I feel, I hear the little bell clinging. I don't know what it is, but they're going after something. Anyway, I'm going to leave it here. I hope that you are taking some time for yourself, and this summer, at least this weekend, do the work necessary to really breathe in all of the joy, everything that this life has to offer you, Capricorn. With that, I will leave it here. Love and light.